is a symbol of an aspect of your consciousness. But by all means, do proceed.
I see every song that I hear on the radio as a conversation I'm having with my higher self.
Yes.
Then
those are your permission slips.
My permission slips are everywhere. It's
yes,
every
of course
moment
they are.
I have is symbolic to me of something. But there's this key log that's clogging up my river that I haven't been able to understand.
Clogging up your river. All right.
Yes, sir. I've had so much pain for the last 10 years.
What type?
Physical pain, chronic pain.
Of what?
I had my groin crushed from the inside.
How exciting.
It was the most painful gift, the most excitingly horrible gift I've ever been given. It was wonderful.
All right.
I think that
still this persists?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to be so formal. You don't have to call us sir.
I see it as this perfect experience.
How has it served you to have this experience? What has it led you to that you might otherwise not have experienced had it not occurred?
It's led me to a million questions about myself and about the nature of personal reality.
All right.
I see myself as everything else having the experience of God. And I'm God expressing Himself through this experience.
Yes. May I ask you a question?
Please do.
Do you believe that you need to continue the experience in this way in order to learn what you need to learn?
I do not think that I need to continue the pain.
Stop. Let's do that one more time, because that's not what I asked you.
I don't think I need the experience.
That's not what I asked you.
Please repeat the question.
And therein in your answer lies your answer. I asked you if you believed you needed to continue this experience in order to learn what you need to learn. And you said, I don't think I do. Or I think I don't need it. You didn't say you believed. Or you knew that you didn't need it. Big difference.
It's a huge difference.
So, that is your key right there to explore. What is it within your belief system says that without this, I will not receive what I need? You need to spend some time exploring your belief system to find out the belief itself, which is far different than what you think or feel.
That's my hurdle. That's my challenge that I've come to you with.
All right. And remember, there is yet another level above and beyond the belief that is knowing. It is important for you to get to the point where you know it's true, that you don't need this physical experience that way in order to receive what you need. You have to know it. And when you know something to be true, it's way more powerful even than belief, because knowing and action are synonymous. If I asked you to walk across the room, you wouldn't stand there and go, well, I believe I can. Let me see. Do I think I can walk across the room? Well, I feel like I can. You would just walk. You wouldn't even have the dialogue, because you know that you can walk across the room. So you don't even question it. Knowing and action are synonymous. So when you know you don't need this, you will act like you know you don't need it. And when you truly, in your behavior, show that you don't need it, you won't need it.
I feel that exact same way. I felt that when I walked in the room. And
right.
I feel like I'm my own worst enemy, but I'm also my own best friend.
Absolutely.
It's a gift I've given myself.
You contain the polarity. Nevertheless, you need to explore deeply and honestly within yourself what the negative belief system is that is allowing you to believe that you must experience the pain, that you must suffer in order to know what it is you need to know, because you don't need to suffer to know what it is you need to know. So you must find out what that belief is that says that you do.
Suffering is a choice, and
yes,
I'm
is.
very aware that part of my higher brain, my higher consciousness, is choosing this.
No.
But this.
No.
I'm choosing this.
Yes, you are.
How can I stop
the
choosing
higher
this?
mind is only letting you know that it is a choice.
If I say I choose to stop doing this,
yes.
how can It's as if I can't get out of my own way.
I understand. And the reason that you feel and experience that you can't get out of your own way is because you haven't found the belief yet. Please remember what we have said about negative beliefs. Negative beliefs will do everything in their power to maintain themselves, including hiding themselves as best as they can, so that you don't know that they're there, so that you don't understand that they are what is perpetuating the experience. They will make you think it's everything else. But what you really need is the willingness to dig down, no matter how fearful it may seem. You need the willingness to go through that fear and find out what that belief actually is, and know that it is there, and know that there is something to find, and not be afraid to find it. Most people on your planet are afraid unconsciously to dig down that deep, because what they're afraid of is a product of the negative belief as well. And that is, the negative belief makes you believe that if you dig down to find the negative belief, that what you find out about yourself that's negative will actually be empirically true. And therefore you don't want to look, because you're afraid that if you find it, that's what you actually will find out about yourself, that that negative thing is actually true. I guarantee you it never will be. That's just the smoke and mirrors from the negative belief, doing everything in its power to prevent you from letting it go, because that's what it's designed to do.
I have a follow-up, if that's okay.
Yes.
I'm okay with anything that I could find inside of myself that I might be scared of. There's nothing that I would worry about.
And yet
the part that I feel shame about is having the pain itself. I have 3 children.
And when you let that shame go, which is also a byproduct of fear, you're still dealing with negative energy when you experience shame, because you're saying, I'm less than, less worthy than. I'll just put it to you in this terminology, and perhaps you will see the irony in this to some degree. You are suffering from a metaphysical malady that is common to many people on your planet exploring their spirituality. It's the malady that we have labeled, I should be better than this by now.
Yes, that's exactly it.
There is no such thing. No such thing.
It's a dichotomy. I feel like a perfect experience, but I feel like I should be better than I am. You're right.
Allow what is to be perfect, and you will use it up, and it will go away because you've used it. Deny that its existence belongs there, and it will remain forever.
Thank you for that.
You understand?
Yes.
Let go of that assumption that just because you're on a spiritual path, certain things shouldn't happen to me anymore. Nonsense. It's not about the fact that those things happen to you. What it's about is how you use them, how you respond to them. And yes, perhaps eventually it may be that those things don't manifest that way anymore. But while they do, there's a reason for it. If only that the reason is to demonstrate to you that you still react to the fact that it's there, which means you haven't changed. Because change is not about what changes on the outside in the physical realm. It's about how you change your response to what happens, even if it still looks the same. That's how you prove that you've changed, because it doesn't really matter how things look on the outside. You can get a positive and beneficial effect from anything, no matter how it looks, no matter how it's arranged. So when you really behave as if you know that, and let it be okay for what's happening to be there, then it won't stick around longer than the message it tends to deliver to you, because you'll be using it for the purpose it arrived, instead of denying its existence. It shouldn't be here. Something's wrong. I should be better than this. I should be beyond this. All of that is pushing away the spring against the wall in the small room of the reality, and you know that when you try to shove a spring away, it has nowhere to go, and all it can do is spring back harder. Don't give it the energy. Say, oh, look, a spring. It must be there for a reason. What positive reason can I give for it being there? And when you do that, you will use it up as quickly as you can possibly use it up, and then it will turn into something else. So as long as you experience shame for anything that appears in your life, you're not getting the point of why it's there, because it's there to show you still have a shame reaction. And that means you haven't changed. So why should it?
That's exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank you.
I love you, Bashar.
Our love to you as well. By the way, you will have some help with this tonight.
Greetings, Bashar.
And you good day.
Thank you. I want to share my experience, and then I want to take your perspective on this.
Yes.
And I have another question on regarding the higher self. So,
Keep it brief.
all right. So I had an experience with MDMA, known as a happy drug. But,
Yes. We understand.
Okay. So when I took it, I had experienced the time loop.
Yes.
And then the parallel reality that I keep repeating same time and situation over and over like a groundhog.
Nothing is exactly the same over and over again. Nothing.
Yes.
You're just assuming that it is, and therefore creating an experience as if it is, but it isn't.
Oh, okay. And I was able to observe myself.
Do you understand that what I said just went right over your head?
Yes. Uh-huh.
If you understand that nothing can ever actually be the same, then you're already halfway out of the loop.
And I went outside and looked up the sky. This is different. Looked up the sky, and then I was seeing a huge UFO.
Yeah.
And was it like hallucination, or was it something that I was perceiving because I was in some sort of different
Was it
frequency?
something that you were perceiving? Yes, obviously it was
Yeah.
something you were perceiving. Sometimes the idea of altering your senses will allow you to see more deeply into other realities and see things that are around you all the time that are simply heretofore invisible to you, but now have become visible because of your altered state.
Is it something like your civilization can effortlessly do without, any help?
Yes, because we have learned that once the teacher has taught you how to alter the state of your being, you can alter it yourself just by remembering what it felt like when you were altered. Then you're altered. And you no longer need the teacher. It may feel a little bit different than it did before, but why should that matter? It will feel how it needs to feel for the relevant moment of that moment, but that doesn't mean you're not in the altered state you need to be in. Many people put too much about the label of it has to feel the same way or it's not the same. Nothing is ever the same. Therefore, you can assume that you're in the correct altered state just by remembering the altered state the way it was, even if it doesn't feel the same. Why should it? You're not the same that you were back then. So why should the state feel identical? That would mean you hadn't changed. Yes?
Yes.
This is also a lesson in how to apply new definitions to things.
All right. My next question is regarding higher self. I know, like everyone's always connected to the higher self and then the source. And
doesn't mean you have permission slip for you at that moment. Understand that we're acting as a permission slip for you right now. You're all talking to your own higher selves when you talk to us. But you're using our consciousness as a mask to make it easier for you to imagine doing so. Surprise. It doesn't mean I'm not my own being, but when you are speaking with us and when we are answering you, you're actually getting communications from your own higher mind. This is one way you can do it, and we're happy to function as a permission slip for you, but understand that when you leave this conversation, you still have every single ability you have in this conversation to continue the conversation with your own higher mind, because you're talking to your higher mind right now. So don't make a difference where no difference needs to be made, and you won't experience a difference. Make sense? All right. Is this addressing your situation?
Yes, because I always thought that, like, you know, if there is a way I could channel my higher self, just like Daryl's channeling your.
Well, you can do that if that is truly exciting and relevant for the path that you have chosen, although the idea of acting on your highest excitement will lead you to the best expression that is correct and relevant for you anyway, whatever that may be. Trust it in the way that it comes. If it doesn't come this way, then that may not be the way that's relevant for you, but it will come in whatever way that is. Remember that the most important way is simply applying it in your daily life in the most exciting way you can. That's the point of making the connection. Bringing it down to earth. Yes? All right.
And I have a funny question. I know a lot of us.
A funny question.
Yeah, I know a lot of us are probably thinking it because we're in Vegas.
Yes.
So how do we increase the odds to win the jackpot in the casino?
You increase the odds of probability for anything in your life by doing what we've already told you. Many times people confuse the idea of an interim step with a goal. Many people don't need to win the jackpot to do what they need to do in life. You've just been taught to think you need that. And therefore you're relegating your definition of abundance to something very narrow and actually shutting the doors through which other forms of abundance could come into your life to allow you to do what you need to do when you need to do it, which is the only definition of abundance we have. So by acting on your highest excitement and staying true to that path, anything that is truly relevant for you to experience, whatever the path of least resistance is, that will allow you to do what you need to do when you need to do it, will be the form in which the abundance presents itself. Sometimes that might be winning a jackpot, but sometimes it might just be walking down the street and overhearing someone say exactly what you needed to hear when you needed to hear it. That's a jackpot too. Loosen up your definitions of what you think abundance is, and you will see how abundant you actually always are. Does that help?
Yes. That was
jackpot.
That was my jackpot. Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
I knew you. Good day.
Perfectly touches on what they were just talking about.
Oh, all right. How synchronous of you.
Oh, wonderful. I recently was in a car.
Speak up.
I recently was in a car accident.
How exciting.
It really was, because
did it shift you to a new perspective of things?
Immediately.
Oh. That's why some of you do it that way. Because you're tired of dawdling along. I want to shift right now. All right.
You all are laughing, but in moments before that, I had specifically asked, I kind of put it out there. I wasn't exactly happy with things.
Yes.
And I said, you know what I want? Do you know where it is? And that happened.
Yes.
And yeah, right before I could just be totally terrified about the fallout from that, like a consciousness came to me and was very reassuring.
Yes.
And it was great. And since then, I've wanted it to come back.
Why? It did its job.
Yes, and that's the thing I get from it. It was like, we had our time, I was reassuring to you,
yes.
Now we're done. But like, I want to feel like that again. So
then feel like that again.
And
Didn't I just explain
yes,
that?
And I have kind of recalled that experience. It's just not as visceral. And I was wondering if there's another way to get that. It doesn't
need to be. It doesn't need to be as visceral.
Then why doesn't it feel as fulfilling?
Because of your definition that it's not as fulfilling if it doesn't feel the same way. It's your definition. It can feel absolutely fulfilling if you will change your definition of how you think it needs to feel. If you know you're in the appropriate state to do what you need to do, then you'll feel fulfilled. You'll feel excited about the state that you're in. If you question that it doesn't feel the same way, this can't be right, it doesn't feel the same way, well, then you're questioning it. So of course it's not going to feel as fulfilling because you're saying it has to be this or it's not correct. You're the one making the rules. You're the one defining the state as being not enough, not worthy, not what I want. But it is what you need. And you're not trusting that.
I trust that it is what I needed at that time. I guess I'm just wishing
at the time, but we're talking about the idea that now you can be in the state right now. Even if it feels different, you have to know it's the correct state. That's what you're not trusting.
So trust that even though it's different, it's not necessarily
Of course it's going to be different because you're different. And you don't need to feel it that way anymore. If you needed to feel it the same way, that would mean you'd be at the same place you were back then. Is that what you want?
No.
Thank you.
No. Okay, and then
does that make sense now?
It does, and you kind of already.
All right.
One more.
Doesn't that excite you to know that you've actually progressed and that it doesn't need to feel the same way?
Yeah, like I'm doing it better now. Yeah. And then.
Yes.
The other one might. I don't know. Now I think they might be related.
Oh, maybe.
I actually counted the days, and it was exactly like maybe 10 days before that. Yes. I saw a UFO, and I just.
How did it look?
It looked. I don't think
what did it look like?
I don't think I actually saw it. I saw sort of like a vapor cloud in front of it. It almost looked like a kite sort of in the sky, and I realized it was like clouds rolling off.
All right. Well, what made you think it was anything other than a cloud?
Just the way it moved. It was just kind of hypnotic and just really peaceful, and then it sort of shifted. And I'm just wondering if you know like what it was, or if I was supposed to take anything from it. I do know what it was.
You were doing it. It wasn't a UFO. It was a projection of your own consciousness, reflecting back to you the peaceful state that is the state that works for you in life.
Oh, nice to know. Okay, thank you.
You were looking in a mirror. Do you understand?
Yeah.
A mirror of your own higher mind consciousness. You opened a window, a gateway, a doorway to represent an aspect of the reflection of your own higher mind to you in that way, and that's how it manifested in your reality.
Yeah, that makes sense. In the way, like, the two being kind of connected, yeah.
Yes.
That does make sense.
Does that help you?
It does, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I guess that now makes it an IFO.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
It's very exciting to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Bashar, the past couple of days in my travels to get here, there's been a series of events that were very challenging.
Oh, congratulations. You never want to lose the challenges in your life, or your life is over.
I had my own plans and my own schedules.
Oh, yes, plans and schedules. What do they say about that on your planet? You want to make God laugh? Make a plan.
So